Today on Mental Health News Radio, Kristin welcomes the ambassador of joy. Barry Shore is a change maker and life transformer whose profound message of joy is being embraced globally. Coming up next on Mental Health News Radio.
I wanna try and take in all the highs, embrace them for more than a moment's time. I want you, please don't move when I push you away. I know I contradict myself some days, but will you ride the lows with me?
Welcome to Mental Health News Radio. I am your host, Kristin Sunanta Walker. Our goal is to help discussions about mental health be a regular part of your daily life, no different than discussions about physical health. Mental illness can be a topic of discussion under the umbrella of mental health, along with so many other topics. This show is the original program on mentalhealthnewsradionetwork.com. Our network of shows are played in over 180 countries and cover more topics under that umbrella than you can possibly imagine. We were talking about mental health long before it became cool and popular to talk about, and thank goodness it has become so popular. We have incredible guests, advocates, patients, experts, people. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy our intro music, a song named Lows, written by Aubrey Toon. You can find her music at www.aubreytoone.com.
That night when I started praying, I cried. Will you ride the lows with me? Will you ride the lows with me? When I'm down, my vision gets blurry.
Barry Shore, the man who could get me to sing. Welcome to Mental Health News Radio.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, Kristin, how can I make the categorical statement that all these hundreds of thousands of people that are listening are all good-looking? Because by definition, if they tuned in to your show, our show right now, by definition, they're always looking for and finding the good. That's the definition of a good-looking person, looking for and finding good in life.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. You and I had a conversation the other day, and it was my last call of the day, and I felt so fabulously good that between that and what I had done that day, which was muck out a barn for my horse and donkey, those two things, I went, oh my gosh, I remember what joy feels like again.
Whoa, and joy does feel, this is, by the way, the essence of what we're going to be discussing today.
Absolutely.
Because Barry Shore, as you mentioned to people, is, thank God, dubbed the ambassador of joy. And joy is a wondrous word. First of all, it just, even saying it makes your mouth feel alive, and you can feel it tingling in your body. Most people would love to embrace it and be it, but these days people feel under a lot of stress, don't they, Kristin?
Absolutely.
Position, first of all, what joy is. We're going to be working with a lot of words and acronyms throughout this get together, our conversating time together. Joy stands for generating ongoing youth.
I love it.
Why did you get that, Barry Shore? Generating ongoing youth. That's the essence of joy. That's what happens when you live in joy daily, no matter the circumstances. You hear this, Kristin? And we can say this in today's world. This is where the world is facing a joy deficit.
Oh, yeah.
And especially in America. I mean, the things that are happening over the past year are, I would say, taking on biblical proportions in the wrong way.
Absolutely.
In the sense that, there's stuff happening. There's storms and locusts and beasts and stuff. And yet, we're going to discuss living in joy, no matter what the situation.
I love it. I mean, talk about the right show at the right time, the right episode to do, but it's very true. And it's quite challenging on a hard day, lots of pain and worry and all of those things that have been going on, it can be very difficult to find out how to eke out joy out of even something that seems so small. So I know that today you will be, giving us some guidance on how we can dig that up and let it out
and make it happen. Right. So that's a very good point. This show is not about Barry Shore, even though I'm here. And it's even not about Kristin Walker, and everybody loves you. That's why they tune in. This show really is about you. Yes, YOU, the person listening. It's about you. And we know that when you become the best you possible, you make the world a better place by being the best you. See, I work with the 3 fundamentals of life. And the 3 fundamentals are: number 1, your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, you can go mad. Now, in this case, MAD's a great acronym because it stands for make a difference. If you lead a purpose-driven life, Kristin, you literally make a difference in the world by your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. And the 3rd fundamental is uncovering and unlocking the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Everyday words and terms. Simple example. Here we go. Simplest one right now.
Getting out my Roman scroll to add to what you told me the other day.
So we're discussing something and it's going worldwide and it's available to everybody. It's going over something called the internet, correct?
Right.
And of course, everything begins with a www. So if you ask anybody what www stands for, invariably they'll say it has to do with the internet. And factually speaking, they're correct. But in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for, drum roll, fanfare, dun dun dun. What a wonderful world. And what is a word? WHATA. And of course, a tip of the hat and a big thank you to Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, for enabling that song to go viral and not just touch tens or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet will hear that. And when you hear even the opening bars of what a wonderful world, what do you do right away? You smile.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Smile, feel warm and tingly.
Yeah, because SMILE is one of the most powerful, purposeful, positive, pleasant acronyms or words you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life. Because SMILE stands for, in the world of Barry Shore, SMILE stands for seeing miracles in life every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Now, I got to tell you, pre-COVID, the last gig that I did, I was speaking to about 5,000 people. Now we don't do this anymore, but actually I speak to more people these days because of Zoom and this and these kinds of medium. But the last time I did it in person was about just pre-COVID, about a year or so ago, 5,000 people. I mentioned the ability to see miracles in life every day. People raise their hands and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours where I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you see? Can you stand? Can you walk? You have water, drink, food to eat, place to sleep, family, friends. Every single one of those is a miracle. Sure. And here's a simple proof, Kristin. 1 million plus people didn't get out of bed this morning. Why? They died. But if you're listening to this right now, by definition, you're alive. And if you're alive, you can live exuberantly. And millions of people not getting out of bed because they're infirm, this whole pandemic and such. But I trust that 99.99% of everybody listening is able to get out of bed in the morning. Now, if you can get out of bed, that's a wonderful thing. Because the deeper story about Barry Shore is, imagine the following. Standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and that evening be in the hospital completely, totally paralyzed. That was me. Became a quadriplegic overnight, and it was not from an automobile accident. It was not a spinal injury. A rare disease took over my body and rendered me completely paralyzed. 144 days in the hospital. I was in a hospital bed in my own home for 2 years. I couldn't turn over by myself.
Wow.
I was in a wheelchair for 4 years. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles, and that was progress. Thank God today, I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand made for me by a Zen master. But I still can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. but you hear my voice.
Right.
It was purposeful,
Exactly.
powerful, and pleasant. Why? Because I've learned to see miracles in life every day. But I got to tell you a quick story. Just a few weeks ago, my 8-year-old niece came over to me and said, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile, Smile? And I thought about it. I said, smile, smile. It sounds the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Out of the
love
mouth
that.
of babes. How do you like that?
I know. And tell everyone how much swimming you log every day.
Well, we'll get there in just a moment because I want to share with you. You said something beautiful. So I went from being totally paralyzed and still not moving like other people do, regular people, in the course of thanking out, gaining back some of my upper body abilities. I'm still from my waist down, considered a paraplegic. We did a lot of aquatic therapy. So I learned how to swim again. Now, this took years, what I'm going to tell you in a very truncated format, but suffice to say that I have flotation devices on my legs so they don't sink and I drown. And I have flotation devices on my belly, and I'm able now to move my arms over my head. And in the course of about a year and a half of therapy, I was able, after that, to swim a mile on my back without stopping. It took me
Fantastic.
98 minutes. But guess what? I did it.
Right.
It didn't matter.
Exactly.
And here it gets better because I did it once. I said, I can do it again. So I did
Right.
it twice a week, then 3 times a week, then 5. And then I was able, after another year, to turn over my belly again with flotation devices on my legs, paddles on my hands because my fingers don't close, and a snorkel because I can't move my head to breathe and such like other people. But I now swim, Kristin, 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. And I've been doing
Fantastic.
that for over a dozen years. And as of our meeting today, I have over 8,023 miles logged because I log every half mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, etc. And that's
Fantastic.
basically, Kristin, for everybody should know, she's in North Carolina. So
Yep.
that's basically swimming from your home, Kristin, across the Atlantic, through the Straits of Gibraltar, across the Mediterranean, up to Jerusalem, and down to Dubai.
It's quite a haul.
And I remember I was a quadriplegic. So the reason I'm saying it is because the reason Kristin wants us to be together and share this, and by the way, share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. That's what we do, right? We share.
Yep.
Spreading happiness, rejuvenating energy, because if Barry Shore can do it, so you can do it. You can do that. This whole idea of joy and living in joy, as my friend Jack Canfield, who's the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, mentioned when he was interviewing me, he says, wow, Barry, who doesn't want that? If you do that, you're healthier and wealthier.
Absolutely.
Imagine, living in joy makes you healthier and wealthier. Who doesn't want that?
It's a natural antidepressant, and it's a boost if you're somebody that really does need to take medication for that too. So,
Well,
hey,
thank you for mentioning this because one of the reasons that Kristin wants me on as well is because people have said this, Barry Shore, you're a dose of hope. And I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
And HOPE is a wonderful acronym that stands for helping other people every day. That's basically my mission in life. This is what I do, what I've been asked by the good Lord to do, because he tapped me on the shoulder one day and said, Mr. Shore, I need your attention. I'm going to make you a quadriplegic for a while.
Right.
But out of that remarkable situation, we're about to publish our book called The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy. And it's really the 11 strategies that I've been able to formulate and discuss and enable people to utilize these practical tips and tools for doing exactly what you said, Kristin. I have people, thank God by the thousands who've been using these practices that I've been able to develop, who say to me, hey, I threw away my pills. I live in joy daily. I do see miracles in life every day. And what are they doing? They're creating the kind of world that they want to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Because when you realize that you have a brain, brain has 100 billion brain cells and 10,000 trillion synapses connecting all those brain cells. And they're there for more than deciding what kind of latte you want this morning. The ability to learn how to think in good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In good. Act in good. You are now becoming what Kristin and I term a spiritual chiropractor. You see, you go to the chiropractor because you're not, something's out of whack, you don't feel so good and you can't sleep or whatever. But the spiritual chiropractor is aligning your thoughts in good, your words in good, and your deeds in good. And now you're aligned, and now you become a cog, a channel of goodness, a child of God. And what better way to live in life, right?
Absolutely. Now listeners, you know how I am. I'm very old school with podcasting. It's audio only for me, but I can see Barry, and I noticed that there is then you guys can't. He's sitting in front of a amazing bookshelf, and the only one that I can see that I can read in terms of a title is The Joy of Cooking.
That's right, because it's so funny. I'm going to mention this now. Speaking about being old-fashioned, I have urged people for the past number of years that every home should have 3 books that are titled with joy. The Joy of Cooking.
There you go.
There's not much better than that, right?
Secret of Possessing Joy by Alice Walker, my favorite author.
And The Joy of Sex. We don't want to talk about it, but we do, right?
Oh my goodness.
Actually, better do it than talk about it. And of course, the one that you really want to add to your bookshelf is
your book.
My book, which is The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy.
And there you are with your walking stick that was
my magic walking wand made for me by a
walking
Zen
wand.
master.
I love that.
I would like to mention, let's delve deep into something that that really troubles a lot of people. And it's not just because they call me Polly Andrew, not Pollyanna, because I'm a man, Polly Andrew. It's not that we avoid issues. Matter of fact, what we do is we actually face issues. That's the best way to live. The most searched word term on the internet these days, wonderful Kristin, and it's been going on for the past year, outside of COVID or pandemic or vaccine, everybody's talking about that. But the word that people search for and want to know how to mitigate, get rid of, eliminate if possible, stress. Right? STRESS, stress. So I want to, let's do something for the many tens or hundreds of thousands of people that listen to you regularly. Let's look at the word and understand something so important about it that this little shift. Now, by the way, when people say the word shift, for some reason, people don't know how to pronounce the F in shift. They end up with stuff, but it's the ability to have a shift in your thinking that's going to make all the difference. So stress is an acronym that stands for stomach turning reality, enabling self-sabotage.
When you get to 25, when you get to 25 acronyms, I get to eat a cookie.
Get ready, get some cookies ready, kid. Stomach turning reality, enabling self-sabotage. I lost my job and Mike was the house. My cousin committed suicide. The kids are acting up. You know what's going on in the world? Don't you realize it's all cold? It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's how people usually think of the word stress, especially today. Am I correct?
100%. And it's such it's funny. We have a podcast on the network called Take a Shift, which, pun intended, and they're wonderful, but it's so interesting how you can you can put yourself in a box of no opportunity in your mind.
Let's take a look at what you just said, because now let's put ourselves in the box of big opportunity. You have
Exactly.
BO, Kristin, big opportunity. We're going to use the same word, stress.
Right.
Stomach turning reality. Oh yeah, it's a tough gig. You might lose the house. Your cousin did commit suicide. The kids are acting out. There's a trouble in the country. Enabling self-success.
Oh, I love that.
Stomach turning reality. It's true, but enabling self-success, because we're going to learn the 6 most important words that any human being can ever learn, internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life. And these 6 words are, and you get a cookie after this.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's staring at me. Go for it.
These 6 words are: choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Stomach turning reality, enabling self-success. How you respond to any given situation will determine your success in life, not just for you, because there are people around you and people around them. The famous idea of the butterfly effect, right? We all know, or we think we know about the butterfly effect, or dropping a pebble in a lake. So let's talk about the butterfly effect. It's been said that if you look at butterfly migration, millions upon millions of butterflies migrate from North America to South America, to the Andes Mountains, and you have literally millions of butterflies covering mountainsides. And it's been said or measured by scientists that the flapping of a butterfly's wings in the Andes can stimulate a tsunami in Japan.
Right.
Well, that's a butterfly. We're human beings. Imagine, if you will, the power of a positive, purposeful, pleasant human being who uses their thoughts, their words, and their deeds to live in good, to spread good. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny and the destiny of the world. Imagine holding in your hand the ability to make a difference in the world, to go mad. So let me urge everybody to do the following. You ready, Kristin?
I'm ready.
I'm going to urge everybody. I want to, before I even do this, I'm going to interrupt myself and warn everybody in advance that I do use 4-letter words. I use them liberally and conservatively, but I use 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word. You're all going to learn the 4-letter FU word. I do it because it's fun and for the shock value. But before we get there, okay, I'll do it now. So the 4-letter words that I love to use, because we're positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, right? The 4-letter words we use are love, live, grow, hope, holy, free, play, pray, gift. And we do have a free gift for everybody. You'll hear it later. 4-letter words, but they're all powerful, positive, purposeful, and pleasant. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun. Yeah, FU, capital N, capital N. Now, right away, people are listening and they're leaning in, saying, hey, come on, Barry, sure, fun is only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after this show, when you go and you see your family, your friends later, you have a twinkle in your eye and you have a smile on your face, remember what SMILE stands for, point your finger and say, F-U, everybody. Remember to add right away, capital N, capital N. They'll say, where did you get that? What are you talking about? I say, well, I listened to Kristin Walker and they had Barry Shore and he told the world to go F-U. Capital N, capital N. You got to add that or they'll think you're not so nice. Okay.
Right.
So F-U, when was the last time somebody said F-U to you, Kristin, and you laughed?
Yeah, after last year and some of the shows that people didn't like. Yeah.
But they said F-U, capital N, right?
Right. I'm gonna now think of it in that way instead. How's that?
But that's one of the strategies, by the way. One of the 11 strategies is don't take anything personally.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It can be a tough one.
So this is Mental Health News Radio. I'm going to mention just a couple other strategies. I'm talking about the 2 most important and most powerful words in the English language. One of the strategies, don't take anything personally. It's one of the most difficult. I have a chapter on it with practical tips and tools to shift away from that vulnerable position to the not invulnerable position, but to the open position where things flow through you and not at you. See, don't take things personally is really a critical element of living in this world. Enjoy daily. Another critical one is get uncomfortable. See, comfort is the place where dreams go to die.
Right.
And when we're talking about uncomfortable, we're talking about everything. Again, small shift. Shift happens. So a simple example. You want to do something uncomfortable? I'm not talking about putting a pebble in your boot or your shoe and walking for a mile. We're talking about something like brushing your teeth using your non-dominant hand. Ah!
Right.
That makes such a difference for you. See, one of the great things about our mind is, like I said, about causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. So or not everybody, people have heard about neuro-linguistic programming.
Right.
It's not woo-woo, it's not magic, it's real. It's you learning to program yourself for what it is you want to do the most in life, which is to live well, live healthier and wealthier and wiser. Now, is all that going to happen when you brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand? Well, the simple answer is yes. What? Yes. Why? Because when let's say I'm right-handed, so I've been doing this for years, so I'm actually able to do it better now. But you use your left hand, you can't believe it. You can't foam up your mouth. I mean, it just doesn't even feel good. It's so awkward. Well, that's the good news, because now you have to think.
Right. And can I get this sweater that has knitted itself onto my teeth as effectively using my non-dominant hand?
She is so adorable, is she not? I mean, Kristin is such a kick. I love it. And so wait till you hear. Kristin is so aptly named with a K in the beginning, because we're going to shift over to, as I mentioned, I urge everybody to do this. I mean, really do this. We're going to utilize the two most powerful words in the English language. And I'd like you to commit to using these 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously, for the rest of your life. Really.
Okay.
3 times a day, consciously. And these 2 words are, again, a drum roll, boom, 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 fanfare, da 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 da. And the 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank stands for, Kristin, to harmonize and network kindness. To harmonize and network kindness. The Dalai Lama has been quoted as saying, I've read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. And it's always possible, he says.
Right.
I agree. And that's Kristin. See, Kristin's name begins with a K, because when she looks at her name from now forward, she says, I am kind, Kristin Walker. So let's give an example of something. Imagine when we are able to go back to our coffee shops. You walk in the coffee shop and you order your fancy latte for $5.50, Kristin, and you order it and you go sit down, and somebody brings it to you right away. You say, thank you, right? That's very nice. Imagine walking in the coffee shop and you order your fancy latte for $5.50, you sit down, a couple of minutes go by, nobody brings it to you, and you go to the counter and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we forgot, we're so busy, we'll bring it to you. You go back and sit down, and a couple more minutes go by and they still didn't bring. Now they bring it to you, still say, thank you, right? Because you're kind. You're walking out of the coffee shop and it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you and you say, thank you.
Yeah.
You're walking out of the coffee shop and it's raining out. Somebody slams the door on you. You say, thank you. You're in traffic. You're late for an appointment. Somebody cuts you off. What do you say?
Thank you.
You get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe and it hurts. You say, thank you.
Yeah.
To harmonize and network kindness. See, kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds.
I love that.
That's what it means to be kind. Now, this is number 25, so get ready for your cookie, kid. It also stands for connect in nature daily.
Oh,
I mean, look
absolutely.
at Kristen. Kristen has a horse, a donkey, 2 dogs,
4 dogs.
4 dogs. Sorry, right, 4 dogs. Um, a loving husband who's I won't call him a jackass, but he's has the sense of humor of that kind of
Yes.
and,
Yep.
and living, and she's about to go living on acres of land in North Carolina. So
Yeah.
hello, here's the key: consciously and conscientiously say, yes, I make a difference in the world. I'm mad in the most positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant sense. And to consciously and conscientiously say thank you 3 times. Hey, you might be saying it 10 times a day now, but I'm talking consciously and conscientiously, knowing that Barry Shore said, F you, capital N, capital N.
It helps rewire your brain. I mean, we talk about, we are human beings. We're made of tissue and synapses, and we create these neural pathways, and we create them. Science has proven this, and we can create them. The thing that you talked about with, using your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth, that is, it seems so simple, but it is helping you. It takes your focus off of maybe what you normally would think about and puts you in a different place, and you're laying down new train tracks.
And it's so important what she says. And again, using my situation, physically, mentally, spiritually, I'm going to urge everybody to try this. Don't do it for more than 8 seconds because you'll freak out and you'll send in notes to Kristin and say, what are you doing to me? So I would urge people to do the following: lay down tonight on your back in your bed, hands at your side, arms at your side, and just breathe easily. And for 8 seconds, just speak to your toes and know they don't move. You can't move your legs. You can't move your fingers. You can't move your arms. You can't move anything in your body. You can't move at all.
Ooh.
Do that for 8 seconds and then stop, because, as I said, you go too wild if you don't. I was in a hospital bed in my own home for 2 years. I couldn't turn over by myself.
Right.
So the ability for me to rewire and understand the following. So people in situations like I'm in, and there many people have many situations that they're called disabilities, and they are new abilities, okay, but it's still disabilities. It's the ability to rewire and find new pathways. So for me, it was about laying in bed and visualizing me sitting up, putting my feet over the side of the bed and standing up.
Yeah.
And I did that. I visualized that every single day for years before I was able to do it. But when I did it, what I was doing was it was a natural result, because we all think we know that the unconscious or the subconscious is the dominant situation in our lives. But it's getting in touch with that part of our being
Right.
that really is the key. That's what the book is about. The joy of living, how to slay stress and be happy. These 11 strategies begin to walk us into and with our own selves, so that we become the best you possible. That's really what this is about. Being the best you, the YOU, the EWE. She may even have an OO on her ranch or her farm one day. But that's what this is about. And it's so doable that once you begin the process, you don't want to ever stop. We all know what a flower is, right, Kristin?
Absolutely.
A flower. I want you to think of this, though. We all pronounce it flower. But if you really look at the word, you know what it would be? Here's how you would pronounce it. How do you pronounce FLOW?
Flow.
You don't call it flow.
Right.
So
True. Flower. Oh.
Right? A flower is really a flower of energy, of being that is utilizing all of the forces around it: the earth, the rain, the water in the earth, the sunshine. That's what you are. You are a flower.
I love that.
We'll call it a flower. You're a human flower, right?
Right.
But you're a flower. When you're in the flow and you now literally even touch it, even if it's for a moments in a day, when you get into that space, you want to continue to shift in there more and more, because that's what hope is all about. You see, when you know that you're a winner and you understand that winners help others, that's what WHO stands for. Anybody ever say who? Who? Winners help others. How? Helping others win. That's what we do in life. Is it not, Kristin? Isn't your greatest joy when you see someone else that you care about, or even that you don't particularly, but getting in a space that's beneficial? Isn't that rejuvenating?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I had our intern, Georgia, and I get into really deep conversations. I know that's a big shocker to my listeners. When am I not having that kind of a conversation? But I was having a little bit of a down moment. I got some not so great seeming news that turned out okay. And she turned to me and she said, I think you're one of the most profound people I've ever met in my life. Even if I didn't know you again after today, I will remember so many things that you helped me with. And I was like, thank you.
You became a mushball.
I totally did.
Let's look at something. Let's have a little more fun. F you, everybody. Capital N.
Capital N.
Remember, tell the world, F you. I want that spreading around the world, Kristin. This is what we're doing today. As Abraham Lincoln said, little know, maybe not remember most of what we said, but they'll remember one or two things like F you, capital N, WWW, what a wonderful world. Thank you, to harmonize and network kindness. Let's look at something. Let's have a little bit of fun with a wonderful word. The word is now, N-O-W. So there's that famous line of you'll be here now, live in the now, correct?
Absolutely.
So there's a great tendency for people to not act in the now. And you've ever heard the word later? You're married.
Yep.
You've heard the word later.
Yeah, exactly.
Later, right. So later, as I mentioned in the book, and is one of the strategies, later is the first step to never. When you want to embrace something and make it yours, you need to do it now, correct? N-O-W. So let's look at what N-O-W stands for. N-O-W now stands for no other way. When you have an idea that is positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, act on it. Action is the key to success in life. Act on something positive, that's good, that's beneficial. No other way. You say later, and it's the first step to never. No other way. And when you've done that, guess what happens? You own it. O-W-N, same letters, right?
Right.
Which stand for only with now. When you live in the now, no other way, and you own it only with now you're beginning to live in a more rejuvenative space. And when you do that, you've won.
I love
W-O-N, same letters, right?
Yep.
With only now.
I like the
Be here
flow.
now. Live in the now. And joy is a natural result. Can I share with you the idea of the distinction between excitement and enthusiasm?
Absolutely. Please do.
Okay. So let's take a look at something. Put a pot of water on the fire, right? And you're going to boil up some water versus a cup of tea. So fill up water, put it on the stove, you turn up the gas, the electricity, whatever it is. And within a bit of time, what happens? The heat is sufficient enough so the water starts moving about and you get a boil, right?
Right.
And all the water's moving around and it's great. You say, oh, I'm going to have my tea. Now, if you remove that pot of water from the flame or you turn down the heat, what's going to happen to the water? It's going to go back to where it was and the energy dissipates, correct?
Right.
Because that's excitement. X meaning from the outside, CIT means movement. It's movement from the outside. That's what happens. You go to sports event. Yeah, we get excited. Wow, look at that. Oh, up and down, up and down. It's right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. That's excitement. Let's look at enthusiasm. En means in. That's the Greek. Inner. THU is the root word of God. For instance, Theodore, lover of God. So when the God-like aspect of your being is internal, then enthusiasm is your natural position in life. Enthusiasm you can wax and wane a little bit, but it's there all the time.
That's right. The bubbling that's going on is coming up from your marrow, from your soul.
Right. Yeah. Did you all hear her? From the marrow.
Yeah.
From your very essence of your bones. It's not from the outside. You don't need the outside stimulus to be happy. Your happiness, your joy, your peace, your love is intrinsic to your very being. I like that one.
I love it. It makes me think of one thing. I'll share a story, a very short one, because this is about you, Barry, and about people listening to you. But we had, I worked for a spiritual organization, and a Buddhist monk came to speak at the organization, and there wasn't anywhere for him to stay, and he wasn't going to stay in a hotel, so I had him at my house. And it was the most, first of all, you couldn't be around him. It took months for his essence to finally get out of our house. And I was sad when it was gone, but I watched him out in the yard, and my dogs were jumping on him, and they're not supposed to. And it was like watching a 5-year-old child, and he was probably in his 70s. He was like a 5-year-old walking around the yard, laughing, playing. He was rolling around on the ground with the dogs. And he was with us for 2 weeks. This was him. This was not a fake, thing. This is just how he lives. And we had somebody cut us off in traffic on the way to the event,
and he said thank you.
In his way. He clapped his hands, and he just started laughing as the person drove by us, flipping us off. It was so funny. I was like, oh, I want that, whatever that is. I was probably 25 or something, and I was like, I want that. And my son, who was teeny, he was just walking. Well, it was probably about 2 or 3. He followed this man around like the Pied Piper. He couldn't get enough of him. And same with the dogs.
This is so wonderful because, first of all, love, which is what you're talking about, he exuded it. Mm-hmm. He felt it. He gave it to you, and he received it back from you, and that's what you did as well. Love stands for living on vibrant energy.
Yeah.
Living on the vibrational plane. So let's talk about age, because it's such an important aspect of the human being. Everyone, once you get over the age of, let's say, 20, everyone lives in 4 ages all at once. And you said it perfectly. That's why I'm saying it. We're doing a riff together. This is a jazz moment. Okay? We're having great stuff, interplay here. We had foreplay before. Now we're in interplay. Everybody has 4 ages. So myself, I'm chronologically 72, because you mentioned he was maybe even 70. Right. Chronologically, I'm 72. Metabolically, I'm 46 because I swim 2 miles a day. Mental acuity is 28 because I work with a lot of 28-year-olds, actually from 20 to about 29, 30. So I'm in there, I'm mixing it up with them. May not be as tech savvy, but I'm with them in mental acuity. And my SOW is 8. So now, Kristin's, okay, Barry, what's your SOW? People leaning in. Okay, I know she's going to have a farm. Maybe she has a pig. No, my SOW is sense of wonder.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. So vital.
When you keep your sense, you said he had 5. All right, that was great. I'm an 8. If you keep your SOW somewhere between 6 and 9, don't go into double digits. Somewhere between 6 and 9, as I'm an 8. Then you're childlike, not childish.
Yes.
So everybody has these 4 ages. You have your chronological, your metabolic, your mental acuity, and your SOW. Ask yourself, what is your SOW? Someone cut you off, you say, thank you. Someone slams the door into you, thank you. And someone holds the door open, thank you. Okay, fine. Because you're living now. You're alive right now. Life stands for living inspirationally for eternity. We are not cut off at some point and think that, oh, this is the end. This is part and parcel of a process.
Yeah, I loved it when a friend of mine I met in Italy. I'd stayed there for a month after my lovely, wonderful stepfather passed away, and I met this Dr. Paolo Molino, and he's a psychotherapist. And he said a couple of months later, we were still talking. He's still my friend. It's been many years, and I was telling him, well, I've got to do the show, and I don't know how I'm going to get into it with this person because they're very academic, they're very scientific, and you know how I am. And he goes, Christine, you could have a chemistry with a potato. And I said, thank you so much. And he says, when I'm with you, I want to play. I feel younger. I thought, oh, I'm gonna remember you said that on those days when I'm just pushing it hard to get there.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring has sprung. There's bells to be rung, oh boy. We're so filled with joy.
Absolutely. And you have to look for those things that can bring you to the to the joy. If it's just not working for you on a particular day or in a particular moment, I mean, that's why we have movies and music and food and all these things and art, animals. You can tap into something else, and it really does. I mean, when I'm down, one of my go-tos are movies. I love the movies, and I will watch something like Private Benjamin because it just makes me giggle. I love Goldie Hawn, and it's just a helpful reminder of, okay, 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 it's not all about this stuff that feels very heavy and down. It can also be
It's
a
up.
giggle festival.
It's a giggle festival. By the way, UP stands for, and that's how I like to think, unlimited potential.
Yeah.
See, when you put your mind into this kind of space, and again, this is what we use in the 11 strategies, when you get out of your comfort zone, even just a little bit, and you don't take things personally, and you are involved with seeing miracles in life every day, then you begin to, like you say, it's the giggle. Now, you don't have to walk around with a big giggle on your face all the time. You really want to feel the passion of life. But passion is PASSION, and it really stands for pass it on. You just add a T in there. So I want to mention one other word that I'm very fond of, because in today's environment, it stands out, doesn't it? It's the word challenge. So we're going to challenge everybody because we're doing radio and such. And if you want to write, if you're in the car, don't write it down. But if you're not in the car, you're listening someplace, so write down the word challenge. Everybody knows how to spell it.
I'm writing it down myself.
CHALLENGE, right?
Right.
So I want you to underline the first 3 letters. And I want you to underline the last 3 letters.
Okay.
Now tell me what those 6 letters spell.
Okay. CHA. Change.
Change.
Yeah.
Now, everybody knows about change. Everybody wants change. You go first. Right?
Right, exactly.
But let's take a look at the word. Let's take a look at this wonderful word. And this is too funny. My fancy computer took over my phone.
It happens. And listeners, as you know, I'm not muting out my dogs since everyone's working from home. So I'm sure you've heard them sound like wildebeest on the tundra outside
Well,
a
that's
couple
a
times.
great line. It's a beautiful vision. So here, let's go back to change for the moment.
Yep.
So change, now you have 3 letters in the middle, LLE. So here's a way to approach change. Let love embrace. That's LLE. Let love embrace change.
I love it. And you have to pat yourself on the back for and be your friend, and I'm not trying to be woo woo or mushy, and I can be that all the time. I got no problem with that, but you do have to do that. I did a show today with a good friend, and he is a scientist and an MD and a PhD, and his brain works in ways he was here to have a brain like that, and I came here to have a brain like I do. But it was the first time that I've done a show with him where I didn't come to the table feeling any insecurity about what I might say that might sound stupid. So I told him during the show, I have evolved since the last time I spoke to you. I did not feel insecure. And he laughed and he said, oh my gosh, I always feel insecure when I'm talking to you. And I went, oh my, this is hilarious. We have been doing this for 5 years, and I didn't know you felt that way. You didn't know I did. And we just had a big laugh about it.
Well, this is so fun because it's another segue and a shift. One of the chapters, one of the strategies in the 11 strategies for learning how to live in joy daily, no matter the circumstances, is titled Be a Good Friend.
Mm.
And it mentions, of course, the ability to be a friend with others. And the most important other is oneself.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, this is the simplest of understanding because it's so graphic. I would trust that almost everybody that's listening has flown on an airplane at some point. And if you remember, when God willing, be able to do it again regularly, you get on the plane, you're sitting, and either there's a person in the front of the plane or a video which mentions that, by the way, there's a change in cabin pressure. Something will come down from overhead. And if you're traveling with a child or somebody acting like a child, what do you do with that mask that is now going to give you air to breathe?
Right.
Counterintuitively, we are being taught to put the mask on ourselves first, even though we want to help the other person.
Yeah.
That person needs help. It's a kid, right?
Yep.
Or a person is acting like a kid. That's what your natural tendency. But if you do that, you can't really help the best. You need to have you calm and aware and breathing. Then you can help someone else.
Absolutely.
So in this particular chapter, I mentioned, write down the word friend, if you'd be so kind, Kristin.
Okay, I'm there.
Now, just circle the letter R.
Okay.
And sort of drop it down for a moment.
Okay.
And what does the word read without the R?
Without fiend?
Fiend.
No. Okay. Okay. I'm like, that can't be it. That's a negative word, but I get it now. I know where you're going.
R stands for reliable.
Mm.
If you are truly a friend to someone else or an animal, any being that you have a relationship with that is trustworthy, that our reliability is key, or else you become a fiend. You're not acting properly. Am I correct?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
And the D is dependable. And when you put a D and an R together, like you talked about your friend who's a doctor of this and a PhD in that, that's a doctor. What's a doctor? A doctor is someone who has studied some area so well that they are truly expert in it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the genius of learning to be a friend, both to other people and to oneself, is to know and to study yourself sufficiently to know how to be reliable and dependable. I had a friend growing up. I had a wonderful misspent youth. We played a lot of pool as kids. And we played poker in the afternoons, guys, in high school. One time we were playing poker we had actually left school early to go play poker, went to my friend's house, and his father came home early, unexpectedly. He walks in and sees 6 kids who should be outside playing ball instead of that playing poker. So
some cigars.
He didn't get upset, but he asked the kids to go home, but he asked me to stay. And he said to my friend and to me, great dad. And he said, look, guys, I really love you. And I just want to tell you, I'm talking to my son and I'm talking to you, Barry, because I like you a lot. I know your parents. If you can count your friends on your thumbs, you're doing well in life.
Mm.
And I can tell you something, Kristin, that was about 60 years ago.
Wow.
It stayed with me over the decades, and it grew, and it became, so I'm sharing with everybody, with all the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people who are listening, who will share this and tell everybody, F you, capital N, capital N. If you can count your friends on your thumbs today, you're doing well in life.
Yeah.
But that means not only that you have those two close, dear friends, but that you are a friend to them, that you're reliable, you're dependable. It's one of the essential strategies, in my humble opinion, of living physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. That's what I call PMS, by the way. Physically, mentally, and spiritually well.
I love it. Barry, I mean, we could do a show every day for the rest of either of our lives, and we would never run out of things to talk about.
I would hope not.
Please say the name of the book again and where people can find more about you.
Okay, I would like to do that, but prior to that, because I can't even say goodbye in less than 20 minutes, but I'd like to leave everybody with a blessing and to give a big hug to you before we do that. Is that acceptable?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the blessing that I share is the following. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. And Kristin, your hug, are you ready?
I'm ready.
HUG stands for harmonizing, unlimited giving. 1, 2, 3. And the name of the book is The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy. Your humble author, Barry Shore, and can be found at www.whatawonderfulworld.barryshore.com, BARRYSHORE, barryshore.com, and a free gift for everybody. This is a wonderful gift. It's a half hour more of videos of me, and it's just, I urge everybody to do it. barryshore.com/free. And a huge thank you to you, wonderful Kristin. Thank you to Harmonize and Network Kindness. That's what your K stands for, kid.
I love it.
Kid.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listeners, I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I know I have. Barry, thank you so much. And everyone, tune in next time for another episode of Mental Health News Radio. Hi, listeners. I'll make it quick. These are some really cool places that give discounts and other cool things for listeners of Mental Health News Radio Network. If you want to get amazing help with healing from narcissistic abuse, go to healfromanarcissist.com. If you want CBD products that are the best of the best, I use them myself, go to proze.com and use the code mentalhealth20, mentalhealth20. If you want to get daily perk ups that help retrain your brain to think more positively, go to perkupdaily.com. And also, just because this one's fun, snarkycandles.com. I guarantee you'll love them. Snarky with a Y, SNARKY, candles.com. And don't forget, if you want to hear all the shows on the network about first responders, you can go to firstrespondermentalhealthnetwork.com, and all of our shows that focus on narcissistic abuse, narcissisticabusehealingnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, and back to the show.
But will you ride the low, low, lows with me? Will you ride the low, low, lows with me?
One thing you can always count on at Mental Health News Radio Network and my show is that there will always be dogs around. Why? They are natural healers, excellent for your mental health. The original therapy dog Miles has something to say in just a moment. For now, please check out all of our amazing shows at mentalhealthnewsradionetwork.com and all your favorite podcast apps. Until next time, I'm Kristin Sananta Walker, and thank you for listening.
And I can write the low, low, lows with me. I can write the low, low, lows with me. Till my vision clears up perfectly. I can write the low, low, lows with me.
Good boy.